It's time to celebrate Matt's birthday. There are very few things that he asks for when it comes to his birthday, but a banana nut cake is always on the list. This is an old faithful family recipe that Matt introduced me to when we got married. I'm going to show you how to make it, and it's going to be delicious. Let's get started. The base of this recipe is Crisco, and if you have never bought Crisco in these containers, the sticks, they're so much easier than the tub. We need 3/4 cup of Crisco, and the measurements are right on the side. It would not get any easier than this. Next, we need 1.5 cups of white sugar. And then we're gonna mix this. We're adding in 2 eggs, and we'll let that all cream together. Next, we've got 1.5 cups of flour, and we'll add that just a little by little. One teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Last week I had some bananas and we didn't eat them fast enough, so I cut them up, put them in the freezer, and now I've thawed them, and this is what I'm going to use for this recipe. I need 2 bananas all mushed up. Scrape these sides down and make sure we have everything incorporated here. This recipe calls for buttermilk, and I don't have any. But did you know that you can take milk and just a little capful of white vinegar, let it sit for a while, and that can be a substitute? That is exactly what I'm going to do today. We need 1/4 cup of milk and just a capful of white vinegar. After the milk mixture has sat for a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add it to our batter. You can use whatever type of nuts you like, but we prefer pecans, and you just need a cup. I'm going to use a little bit of this Crisco that I had left from the recipe. I had to do this when I was a kid. Oh, I hated it. I hated this part of greasing the pan. But there's really nothing like using Crisco to really grease a good pan. Make sure I get it up on the sides. Cake is too good for any of it to be left in the pan because it's stuck. All right, we'll get this all spread out in here. I noticed when I'm using frozen bananas that the mixture is a little bit wetter than if I used fresh bananas. So when I put it in the oven, I'm just gonna watch the time. I might need to leave it in a little bit longer if I'm using frozen bananas, just because there's more water content. If they're fresh bananas, you might not need to leave it as long. But you still need to put it in the oven for 350 degrees. Off to the oven. We're gonna make a glaze to go on top of this cake, and it is so good. We've got some chunks of banana, some sweetness. I'll show you how we do it. I saved this measuring cup that we mushed the bananas in, and I'm gonna put a whole nother banana in here. Stir it up, mush it in there a little. I've got 1 tablespoon of melted butter. And now all we need is 1 cup of powdered sugar. Give it a good mix. So here's the consistency. Just a little runny, a little chunky because of the bananas. So good. We're gonna wait till it comes out of the oven. We're gonna let it cool, and then we'll top it with this icing, and then we can dab in. Wait, not us. The birthday boy can dive in. Cake just came out of the oven and I cannot describe to you how amazing it smells in here. My kids just came home from school. Mom, what is that? Dad's favorite cake. We all know what it is. It's cooled enough so that I can put the icing on. So I'm gonna work on that. Remember we made this, it's just the bananas, butter, and some powdered sugar. Every time I have made this cake, it sinks in the middle. Every single time. So the icing kind of pools in the middle, which makes the middle pieces the best. It always looks darker than what you think it should just because the bananas turn brown. You know what I mean? So it's still good. It's not burnt. I just can't get over how good this smells. All right, we'll let that set up and then we're gonna eat it tonight. Look at those chunks of banana. Oh, it looks so good. The birthday boy approves. If you like this video, follow Finding Easy for more.